You may have heard about heterosexual women choosing men, and they generally don't focus so much on how a man physically looks as far as his facial features, but they're kind of more interested in his body type or his height. And they also want to know if a man makes them feel safe or protected. They're not so focused on the symmetry of his features or how physically attractive his face is. They look more so at the whole entire physique of a man, and they focus in on his energy. And that makes sense. But when it comes to lesbians, it is different how we decide and pick and choose the women that we want in our lives. And I'm going to discuss some of the things that lesbians look at and desire in a woman. And women are very particular about what they want in a woman. The title of this video is Lesbians Are Picky When Choosing a Woman. My name is Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Please take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do provide content for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and LGBTQ people regarding our daily lives and how we experience life from the perspective of a same-sex attracted person. And I like to go in depth on living an authentic life and being in tune with our sexuality and our spirituality as same-sex attracted people living in a heteronormative society. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. When it comes to women who love women, we are very instinctive, very intuitive, and we love to observe. So in many cases, a woman has already studied you before she has actually met you in person. And women will watch how you maneuver in life. They will pay attention to your facial expressions and how you interact with other people. And when a woman is interested in you, she will do her own research. Women are very good. They're like natural private investigators. And we have to have those qualities as women because, well, women are the softer, gentler sex than the male gender. And so women have very unique qualities and instincts that help us in life. And I identify as a lesbian woman. And although I can look at a man and physically see him as an attractive man, just because I see that the man is physically attractive, it doesn't mean that I am interested in him romantically, emotionally, or sexually. However, because I have been around heterosexual women all my life, I know what they see in a man that attracts them. And I can understand why women desire a certain thing in a man. And I mentioned they generally are interested in the whole totality of a man. They don't really primarily focus on how physically cute he is in the face. Women like to feel protected and safe. They like to know that a man is a man. And if you are a woman who is attracted to women physically, sexually, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, women are attracted to the sweet nature of a woman. And being sweet is more of an intrinsic quality. It's just a sweetness that represents her character. And we look at the physical features of a woman, of course, but women tend to look at the personality of a woman. And the reason why the personality is important is because we need someone who compliments us, and we need someone who is encouraging and uplifting in our lives. And when you are a woman yourself, you have a familiarity with womanhood, and you know what you like about yourself, and you will naturally like that in another woman. For example, you may enjoy getting a body massage, or you may enjoy getting your nails done or your hair done. You may enjoy anything that deals with self-care and pampering yourself. And you would enjoy being with a woman who enjoys those things. So not only you get to spend quality time with each other, but you also know that this woman likes to take care of her body. And then you want someone who wants to make sure that she's always self-improving. So you want someone who is intelligent, emotionally intelligent, and mentally intelligent, and spiritually intelligent. So you'll look for a woman who she can have different interests. They don't have to be exactly yours, because you want to be able to expand your horizons and your mindset by having a same-sex partner who has different hobbies and interests from yours, but yet you don't mind participating in those hobbies or interests because you find them enjoyable or you want to learn more about them. So anything that just enlightens you, you're looking for that in your same-sex partner. But women, since we already know ourselves, and women know women, we know pretty much how women think. We want to be with a woman who has herself together. And so lesbians can be very picky when it comes to choosing a woman because we're not like men where we're just interested in numbers. Like, they have to conquer all of these women, sexually, and even, in a certain degree, they want to manipulate or have control over a woman's mind and her heart and her body. Well, lesbians don't think about they don't think about like overpowering a woman because we're women ourselves. So we're sensitive to womanhood. We're sensitive to being women. And so with a man, it's more objective. He's not a woman. He doesn't feel like a woman. He doesn't think like a woman or have experiences of a woman. And so it's easier for them to be neglectful or selfish or insensitive with women because they're men. Now, this is just general that I'm speaking in general terms. I'm not saying that all men are looking to use women or manipulate women, but in many cases, there are men who interact with women in that way. But from a lesbian perspective, because we know generally how women are, and this doesn't mean that all women are like cookie cutter people. We have our own minds and hearts and desires and goals and passions and purposes in life. But what I mean is, we know what it's like to be a woman on a daily basis. And we regard women highly. We actually want to see women in their best version of themselves. And ironically, that sounds conflicting when you hear a lot of the bashing of women between women, but a lot of that happens in the heterosexual spaces. Unfortunately, there's gender wars that go on between men and women, and some women are in competition with other women to have a man. So you're seeing a lot of that negativity going on between women. But from a lesbian's perspective, we don't look at women in a competitive way. We're not looking to compete with the woman. Matter of fact, as a lesbian and just hearing other lesbian women speak about women, we're more so, wanting our woman to be better than ourselves. And we want our woman to look good. We want our woman to feel good. We want our woman to continue to aspire to be the best woman she can be. And that makes us happy. That makes us proud. It motivates us. It inspires us. And it makes us want to be better women ourselves. So I don't even, I remember, for example, um, working in corporate America, and there would be women who would just argue over really petty, ridiculous things that really didn't have any good outcome. It wasn't worth the argument. But if a woman tried to pick an argument with me over something minor, like, oh, you know that I like John Doe? And why did you go sit next to him in the lunchroom? That's just an example. So my mind would be like, well, I was already sitting at the lunch table, but John Doe came and sat by me. But I guess since you like John Doe, in your mind, you saw me sitting next to John Doe. And I guess you thought that I was flirting with John Doe. But that didn't happen because, for one, I'm a lesbian. And secondly, I don't have any control over John Doe coming, sitting by me and speaking to me, but you personally had a problem with it. So like something like that, it's like that's just petty to me, and I wouldn't even entertain it. I would just be straightforward and say, well, I didn't even know you like John Doe. And even if you do like John Doe, that's not going to stop John Doe from speaking to me. And if I see John Doe, I'll speak to him. And if that bothers you, well, then that does sound like a personal issue. So something like that, interacting with a heterosexual woman, it would be something of that nature. That's like arguing with a woman for no reason at all. As a lesbian, I don't do that with women. For one, because I'm a lesbian and I'm not arguing with a woman over a man, and I'm not looking at her as a competition. I see women differently. And it's not necessarily because I'm looking at a woman sexually. I just don't have that type of negative energy. And I allow people to be themselves. When women are into women emotionally, mentally, sexually, and physically, we actually enjoy a woman who takes care of herself. She's good with her hygiene, and she's a positive person, because this is somebody you're going to be spending time with. This is somebody that their energy impacts your energy. And so there's no need for us to compete with one another. There's no reason for us to be jealous of one another. And there's no reason for us to argue just to say that we're arguing. As a lesbian woman, especially as a Black lesbian woman in a society that already discriminates against me just because of the color of my skin and my features as a Black woman being different from any other races of women in particular, and also because I identify as a lesbian woman, I have enough challenges in the world from people who are detractors and who are closed minded. So when I am spending time with another woman, arguing is the furthest thing from my mind. I'm in a space where I'm able to be myself and focus in on what I want and what I need. And I desire that same energy and attention and affection from the woman I choose to be with. So we're going to be, as lesbian women, picky in the type of women we choose, because we know that we have options. We can just go and, you know, date a woman, but does that really benefit you? What is really behind just going out just to get with the woman just for the sake of saying, "Oh, I have a girlfriend now." Who are you trying to impress, and what are you trying to prove? When it comes to lesbians being with lesbians, you may go through a period, when you're younger or when you're still trying to be comfortable with your sexuality, where you may go through a learning phase and you don't really know what's best for you at that point in time. But as you mature and you get more familiar with what you really need and what you really desire, you're not just going to waste your time with just anyone just for the sake of it. And hopefully you can be at a point in your life where you're not letting outside influences dictate who you date and who you marry. Because being a lesbian, we live in a very homophobic society, and people feel like they're entitled to tell you who you should be with. And they even have the audacity to tell you that, well, if you're not going to be with a man, you need to be by yourself, because they view you being single and all to yourself as being better than being in a gay relationship, which is very prejudice and judgmental thinking. But this is what same-sex attracted people experience. And as a lesbian woman, because I know what I go through and I know what other lesbians experience, we're very picky and careful about the woman that we choose to be with in life. And when we actually spend time with the woman and we actually learn more about her, it's a very exciting, invigorating experience, because we can just really connect with someone who is like us, but also is very unique. And we have to be careful and we have to be wise about the partners that we choose, because we need to manage our love lives at an optimal level. Like, we have to strive to be the best we can be with our relationships as lesbians, because we live in a society that thinks negatively about our same sex attractions and our relationships. But we defy it because we know who we are. And we also know that we're going to choose the type of lesbian partner that benefits us. And we leave all of the naysayers out of our relationships. So being a lesbian, it allows me to be more in tune with myself and take my time and observe and be picky, rightfully so, when it comes to choosing a lesbian partner. Because after all, as lesbians, we want to be picky when choosing a woman as a life partner. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share my content. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.